Hello. Hello.
Yeah, tell me, Sambil.
Yeah, sir, I'm just checking if my voice is audible or not.
Yeah, your voice is
It's audible.
audible. Yeah,
Okay.
your voice is audible. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are.
Fine. So let's quickly start the session. And in the previous session, did you remember what we have covered? So we have covered what?
Like cloud formation, like how we
Exactly.
can introduce like instances, multiple instances in a single shot.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yes, we have done the cloud formation. Correct. You are correct. So in today's topic, I'm going to talk about one of the again important topic for your real time. So which is elastic load balancers. Elastic load balancer. That's our point of discussion, right? So if time permits, we will cover another topic, which is auto scalability or auto scaling. This is also we can cover. But as of now, let's start with our discussion towards elastic load balancer. Elastic load balancer. Say for an example, I have three servers. Consider, I will give you one use case, real-time use case. Say I have a three server. I have a three servers. Say for an example, server 1, and we have a server 2, and we have a server 3. I have a three server, like server 1 and server 2 and server 3. What I have done, I have hosted on server 1, I have hosted an application. Maybe consider I have an application called app1 that I have hosted on the server 1. And along with that, application 1, it is also hosted in your server 2, and server 3 also hosted with your application 1, right? So what I did, here I have a three server, S1 and S2 and S3. In all these three servers, I have hosted my application 1. Application 1. But otherwise, maybe we can take this example. We can change this example. Maybe let me remove this application 1 and let me remove this application 1. And consider in S1, I have hosted an application 1. Now, you know, right, where the client has visibility, only on server 1, right? Because whenever you launch any application, where the request is going, the request is going on S1 server. It is not going on S2 and S3 server. Can you tell me, guys, any impact here? Is there any impact? Because we have a three server S1 and S2, S3. Your application app 1 is got hosted on S1. Now the client is sending some request to your application 1. Now the request is going on S1. Now tell me, is there any impact? What is the impact? Can you tell me what is the impact? Yes. Don't you able to hear me?
Like load, traffic.
Exactly. Correct. There is a high traffic, right? The load on server 1 is high. Load on server 1 is high. But in your server 2 and server 2, no loads, right? We don't have any traffic on your server 2 and server 3. But on server 1, we have a high traffic. So it means that the L1 or S1, it is, I can call overutilized. Can I say this one? Overutilized. Can I use this terminology? Because S1 is utilized by entire customer and S2 and S, it is not at all used, right? Then maybe I can call it as it is underutilized. The resources S2 and S3, I can call it as underutilized, but S1 and S2, it is, sorry, S1 I can call it as overutilized. Now, what is the solution? What is the solution? Obviously, I need to distribute my load. I need to split my load. I need to distribute, or I need to split the load, right? I need to split the traffic. I need to split the traffic because S1 only getting the request from the client, but S2 and S3, it is free. Now, what I need to do? I need to split or distribute the load, whatever request that I'm getting from the client or customer. So then, in order to distribute your load, we have AWS providing one service called Elastic Load Balancer. This Elastic Load Balancer is going to distribute the incoming traffic. It is going to distribute the load or incoming traffic. Incoming traffic. How? I can tell you. But the load balancer is going to distribute the load or distribute the traffic. Right? So basically, the elastic load balancer, it is elastic because it is very flexible, right? So this load balancer, it is going to split the traffic or distribute the traffic on the balanced server, balanced servers, or we can call it as balanced servers. Sometimes it is also called as target. We can call it as target. We can call it as target. So when I say, see, you have a target, right? When I say target, target is nothing but your server. It is a balanced server. So what load balancer will do, by continuously, it will check them. By continuously, it will check them. By continuously, it will check the health of the server. It will check the health of the server. Who will check the health of the server? Your load balancer has multiple component. That particular component, it will continuously check the health of the server, seeing that whether your server is healthy or unhealthy. If the server is healthy, it will distribute the traffic towards particular load. So there are different listeners are available inside your load balancer that will continuously check the health of each server. Based on the request that we are getting, it will distribute the load towards the particular server. That's the purpose of your elastic load balancer. In the interview, people might ask, what is the purpose of elastic load balancer? You just tell them, hey, elastic load balancer is a kind of service in your AWS. It is to distribute the given traffic or distribute the load into the multiple servers. Whatever the server that has been connected to your elastic load balancer, where the load will be diversified by continuously checking the health of the traffic, the incoming traffic. So thereby, manually, you no need to divert your application request to the number of server. In real time, if you use the load balancer, you will get the benefit like it's a single entry point. It is a single entry point. Single entry point. Who is the single entry point? Load balancer is the single entry point for all the traffic. For all the traffic. And then it is distribute, and then it will distribute, it is distributing the traffic to the server. Traffic to the server. So remember, basically, we will pass the URL, right? Consider this URL. It is a load balancer URL. It is not a server URL. Remember, it is a load balancer URL. Whatever the URL that we are passing, say for an example, https://www.facebook.com. If you are thinking like it is a server URL, no, it is a load balancer URL. It is a LB URL. So what will happen? This load balancer, this application may be hosted on different server. Consider this application is hosted from S1 to S100 server, right? Based on the traffic, right? Based on the usage on the server, this load balancer will divert. This load balancer will divert the request to the particular server. Whoever is free, whoever is healthy, to that particular server, your load will be distributed. Your request will be redirected. It will be diversified with help of your elastic load balancer. Are you getting my point, guys?
Dinesh,
Yes.
hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Dinesh, can you repeat from the single point entry because
Yeah, I can tell you 1 second, no issues.
yeah.
So what I said, basically, whatever the request, say for an example, there are 100 customers. They are under customer, they are hitting Amazon.in, https://www.amazon.in. Amazon.in. This URL I'm calling, it's a DNS or load balancer URL. It's a load balancer. If you consider this is a load balancer URL. Load balancer URL. Now what will happen? Whatever the traffic rate that we are hitting, that we are sending, that we are requesting, it is going to a load balancer. So load balancer is the single entry point for all your traffic. For all your traffic means 100 customers. This load balancer will decide, it will do the continuous health check on multiple servers. Maybe this load balancer is connected with 100 servers. Whoever is free, whoever is healthy, in that particular server, your request will be redirected. So that is called as a single entry point for all the traffic. Single entry point for all the traffic. Then it is distributing the traffic to the particular server. Are you clear, Jayana?
Yeah, like if there are 10 customers reaching, so it will be diverted to 10 servers, like?
No, not like that. Not 10 server. There's a capacity, right, for each server. So for particular server, maybe they have used like 2 CPU core and 4
Okay, so
gigabyte
if
RAM.
it reach the capacity, then it will transfer.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yes. Again, it is all based on the operation. What kind of request that we are doing, right? What kind of permission that particular server wants. So everything it will decide. Maybe in some cases, in some application, per time or per second, only one person can able to edit that particular file. Other person cannot edit that particular file on the server. In that case, maybe the request will be redirected to another server also. Again, how it has been configured, that completely depends. But as of now, just remember, maybe you are sending some request to the load balancer. Load balancer will decide how can I automatically scale this particular server. Thereby, I can allow one server to provide an information or to give some kind of support to the user. Request will be forwarded to URL instead of instance. Correct. Here we are not directly reaching out to the server. Here we are reaching the load balancer. Load balancer will decide which server that wants to communicate with you. Is that okay? Is that okay, everyone?
Okay, Dinesh.
So load balancer, it is to balance your load actually. So it is to balance the load that is coming from the customer. I cannot send the same request, 100 requests to the same server. Then what will happen? It is overutilized. What happened to other server? It is underutilized, but still it is running. Why should I waste the money? I have to save my money. Then in that case, maybe based on the metrics, the various data points like CPU utilization, RAM utilization, network, memory utilization, everything will be taken care by the load balancer. Thereby, it will be distribute your load to the particular server. So that's the purpose of your load balancer. So in load balancer, we have a many terms, guys. You have to remember many terms. So one term which is called targets. Who is target here? Server is the target here. Server is the target here. Remember, or we can call it as IP address. Server has the IP address, right? Public and private IP address. That's the target. Lambda function. In some cases, I need to go for lambda function. Lambda function is the target here. Whatever it might be. But the target is nothing but a server. Simply remember, target is nothing but a server. The same way, target is simple. I can tell, right, which will serve the request. Target which will serve the request, which will serve the request. Right? But what is target group? We have another term which is called target groups. What is target group? Maybe a group of targets. Simply I can call group of targets. I said right already, maybe your application may be hosted on different server, hundreds of server, thousands of server, lakhs of server. That group of server in your load balancer, we basically called as target group. A group of server is nothing but a target group. So in target group, you can able to connect a number of servers. Say for an example, what you guys can do, you can create a target group for your EC2. You can create a target group of EC2. Then it means that inside the target group, you have a multiple EC2, multiple elastic cloud computing machine. So remember, target group is the group of server. Target is nothing but a server. What is load balancer? It is going to distribute your load. Who will distribute? The load balancer will distribute the load. Simply, it will split the load into the various servers. Now, let's say practically, maybe as of now, you will not have much clear idea, but let me tell you practical session, you will understand. So let's go practically. I will open quickly my Amaze on management console. Click on sign into management console. And my system is ready. Okay. The first step. Yes, did you remember this step? Can you tell me whether you remembered or not? I will see. Did you remember user data? Yes or no? Have you remembered user data? I taught this one earlier. What is user data? Do you remember? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
So what is the purpose of user data? Can you tell me someone? What is the purpose of user data? Exactly. Correct. It is an automation script. It is the automation script. Say for an example, if I use one EC2 machine, in this EC2 machine, suppose if it is running, I am going to install some Tomcat, install some Java application. Say consider like I'm going to install Java. But suppose in your company there are 100 employees. I cannot go right to each employee saying that I cannot install the Java. It will take a time, right? It will take 3 or 4 days to complete this kind of operation. In that case, what you guys can do, you can go with the EC2 with user data. EC2 with the user data. What you guys can do, you guys can write whatever the script that you want, you can write it inside the user data. And if you run right in all the machine, your Java will be installed. Whatever the operation, whatever the thing that you want to do, yeah, you can do it with help of user data. This is, I think, I have covered earlier itself. So this is what we are going to use it for our session also, which is a load balancer session. Remember. So let me click on EC2. For this particular demo, I can click on launch instance and click on launch instance and use, say this is a web server. This is web server. Come below. And AMI, you can go with the same AMI. T2 micro, that's okay. Key pair, let me go with proceed without a key pair. And network settings. So I'm going to write some user data and I'm going to, allow index.html file on user data. For that, I need to allow HTTP protocol. For that reason, I'm clicking edit and I will add some security group for your HTTP from anywhere over the internet. Add the security group. So this is I'm going to select HTTP and anywhere from over the internet. Anywhere over the internet. That's it. And configuration storage, fine. I can increase the number of server. Say this is number of server that I'm going to use. 2 is the number of server. 2 is the number of server and click on advanced editing. Now what I need to do, I need to add this particular user data. I don't think I am having user data in my local machine. Okay. Let me go Google and say EC2 user data to install. Say I need to install HTTPD server. Say I can go for some GitHub page. So yes, we have this. Let me copy. So this is I'm going to copy. Let me go here and paste it over there. This is not required, so let me remove. That's it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to update my server and then I'm going to install the HTTPD server. And I'm going to start the HTTPD server, enabling and simply printing a message. Say hello world from the particular server IP address. Host name means it's a DNS IP address. In which file that I'm going to save this particular content in index.html file. That's the reason I said I have to allow. I need to allow what? I need to allow HTTP protocol for that. For that index.html I'm going to open, right? So that's the reason. Say this is what I'm going to do. So I am the sudo user. I'm going to update the file. I'm going to install the HTTPD server, start the server, enabling the server. Simply in index.html, I'm going to write this message. Hello world from the particular server IP address. Hello world from the particular server IP address that I'm going to write. That's it. Now click on launch instance. So there are 2 servers that I'm going to launch. Click on launch instance. Now click on view all instances. Okay. That's right. Once it is running, okay, before that, let me rename also. It's a web server 1 and this is my web server 2. Click on save. Okay. Cool. This is running. Web server 1 and web server 2, both are running. Now let me click on this. Okay, before that, if we click on this, take the public IP address. Can you see the public IP address? I will copy this and then I can paste it in new tab, press enter. No, still it is not initialized. Why? Why it is not initialized? Yeah, it is initialized. See, I got the message, right? Hello world from, this is the private IP address, see, which is 69 ec2.internet. And let me click on this and copy this public IP address. Once again, open this. Can you see here? Hello world from 93, which is the private IP address 93. Is correct. Hello world from ec2.internet. This is what I have done, right? On the 2 machine. This is my first machine and this is the second machine. So this is without a load balancer I have done. Without a load balancer, we have done. Now we are going to use the load balancer. Thereby we will understand what is the difference with load balancer and without load balancer. Any questions so far? Can you quickly confirm any question on this? Guys, quickly confirm. Let's proceed.
No, there is.
No, right? Fine. Now I'm going to use the load balancer. See, in the left-hand side, come below. You can find the load balancing. There load balancer under that. And the target group, you can see it. I already said that in target group, you can include multiple servers. If you are thinking like, I have a 100 server, I am going to host a particular application on the 100 server. Then what you basically do? All these 100 server you can include inside the target group. Let me create a target group first. I can click on either here or you can go here. So let me click on create target group. And the target group you can create it for instance level, EC2 level, servers level. So you can create it for instances, the target type, or you can go with the IP address, or you can go with the Lambda function, or still you can create one more load balancer also. It's a kind of a nested load balancer. See, I already told you here. So the target group might be a server, might be IP address, might be a Lambda function, or the target group. You can create it another load balancer also. Maybe it is a kind of, you have launched that particular load balancer. This load balancer itself, it is connected to another load balancer. Another load balancer, maybe a multiple load balancer, say 5 load balancer. This is the main load balancer. This is the primary load balancer. And this is the secondary load balancer. 5 secondary load balancer. You guys can do that one. But as of now, I will go with the simple instances. I'm going to you select a target type, which is instances. And also target group name. Say this is a demo targets and the Monday 10 2023. Now to make it unique. Right. So this is 04/10/2023. Fine. And the protocol. So it's, you guys can leave it TCP protocol. And VPC, this is my default VPC. Let me leave it. And I said, remember, in load balancer, we have a health check, right? Continuously, it will monitor your servers and will check whether it is healthy or not. So the associated load balancer, whatever the server that I'm going to add, the associated load balancer periodically sends the request per the settings below to the registered target to test their status. Whether are you healthy or not? Whether are you healthy or not? How can I check whether it is healthy or not? So there is a listener inside the load balancer. There is one component inside the load balancer. What it will do, it will continuously go and check the health of the server. Continuously, it will go ahead and it will check the health of the server. So let me tell you this each option later. Come below and click on next. And so there are 2 instances are available in my machine, right? I already running this machine. 2 EC2 instances. Let me check. So click on duplicate and I can go with this EC2. Can you see there are 2 instances is up and running, right? Those instances you can see it. It is asking, hey, do you want to include this 2 server or 1 server? Suppose if 100 servers are available, how many servers that you are going to include as part of your target group? That you have to say here. And remember, the availability zone is 1C. Availability zone, the 2 server that you have hosted, right? Which is an availability zone 1C from North Virginia. So let me include all these 2 servers to my target group. So let me include. When I include, it is available under the review target and the health status is pending. It is checking. Who is checking? Load balancer is checking whether is the server is good or not. And click on create target group. That's it. And you have successfully created the target group. And you can see, right, load balancer none associated. It means that so far you have created only a target group. That is a question. Using user data, can I install web server in multiple zones? Yeah, we can able to do. We can able to install, correct. But the problem with that particular approach is, say for an example, if you are creating a user data, right, only for particular zone, you guys can create it. Otherwise, through the user data, we have a Python scripting. You can do the Python scripting. As of now, we are using the bash scripting, but there is a Python scripting. Using the Python scripting through the user data, we can able to install the web server in multiple zones. Aman, for your information. Right. So none associated. Right. So now let me add the load balancer also. So when I click on this, you can see health is 0, unhealth is 0, because still we don't have a load balancer, right? Unhealthy status unused, because only we have created the target group. Where is the load balancer? Can you see here? Target group is not configured to receiving the traffic from the load balancer. Where is the load balancer? Still I didn't create any load balancer. Only I have created the group. WhatsApp group I have created. Facebook group I have created. But still I didn't post any message. Right? And still I didn't give the permission. Right? So what I'm going to do, I will create a load balancer now. I will create a load balancer. So let me create a load balancer. And remember guys, in load balancer, we have a variety of types. application load balancer, network load balancer, and classic load balancer, gateway load balancer, like that we have a many types. So in this session, no need to confuse with respect to the different load balancer. As of now, we'll proceed with application load balancer. So if you want a real-time use cases for application load balancer, whenever you access an application, right? Normal application, Flipkart, Google, Gmail and all, right? So basically that uses the application load balancer when use the HTTP and HTTPS traffic, right? Normally we will go for HTTP and HTTPS traffic, right? Those traffic will be redirected to application load balancer, but still we need to cover many points with respect to difference. I will tell you later, but as of now, let's proceed with a load balancer, which is called application load balancer. It is one of the type in your application, in your Elastic load balancer. In the interview also, people might ask, hey, can you tell me what are the different types in ELB? You guys can tell them. We have one is called ALB, and second one NLB, third one is GLB. And earlier, actually a year back, not year back, 6 months back, we have CLB also, classic load balancer, but now it is outdated. Your AWS people, they have removed this one. It is not at all available right now. So you don't need to worry about this one. But now we have a gateway load balancer, and network load balancer. Wherever you require high performance network, then you guys can select for network load balancer. And sometimes I need to handle all the things in the balanced way. Then go with application load balancer. You can go this. Fine. Let's click on create application load balancer. Let me fill this basic fundamental like load balancer name. Say this is demo application load balancer I can give which is 4th month, then 10/2023. Fine. And again, we have a scheme actually. There are two schemes. One is internet facing and internal facing. See, within a load balancer itself, if you want to communicate, we can go for internal. But as a user, I need an internet, right, to communicate. That is internet facing. Can you see here? Internet facing load balancer routes the request from the client over the network, over the internet to the target. It requires a public subnet. Remember. But internal load balancer routes the traffic from the client to target using private IP address. Then you need them. You need that. Did you remember? So we have used two gateway. What are they? There are two gateway. What are they? Did you remember in VPC?
NAT gateway,
Yes.
internet gateway.
Exactly. Now we go with the internet facing, not a private subnet that we are going to use. If you are using the private subnet, go with the internet. So let me leave it. And IP address type default IP version 4 and VPC and the default VPC and mapping. Now only mapping is coming into the picture. See, the load balancer, what is the fundamental role? Load balancer, using the target group, we are going to create the number of server. That number of servers should be hosted on some availability zone, right? Inside the region. Now you are saying, hey, in which availability zone your servers are there? That you have to tell. In which availability zone your servers are available? That you have to inform to your load balancer. Now I am saying, this is already, you know, right? In 1C we have here, two servers. But minimum you have to select two availability zone. Maximum you can connect as such we have. But minimum you have to select two. Definitely you have to select 1C because my servers are available inside the 1C. Along with it, maybe let me select 1A also. 1A and 1C I have selected. Or if you want to select everything, you can select it. That's no issue. Minimum, but you have to select two availability zone. And the security group. Now the security group, right? Your EC2 servers where it is available. Click on security group. Now can you see the security group? Copy the security group and simply you can paste it in. Yeah, this is the one. So this is the security group for your load balance. Now that's it. The listeners and all, you just leave it. Yeah, here I am going to redirect HTTP, right? You remember this is the HTTP. This is an HTTP. This only I am going to redirect. So HTTP 80. And where is your target group? Let me click on this. Oh no, it is not available. Where is target group? It is not available.
Sir, that is a default security group, sir.
Which one? Yeah, this is the default security group.
Okay.
Not default security group. I'm sorry. Hey, here we have created a security group, right? In EC2. This is a security group. This is not a default security group. We have added the HTTP. Earlier,
Okay.
it was allowing only SSH. But what I have done? I have added
HTTP.
HTTP. Can
HTTP.
you see inbound rule? I have two security group. One is this
Which
one
one?
TCP.
Kirutika div.
One is TCP protocol. And why it is? Wait. Let me click on the security group and click on inbound rule. Yes, one is HTTP and another one is SSH. Okay. Now, here, why it is not showing the target group? Let me check. So go to EC2 and come below. You can see the target group, right? I have a target group. Let me copy this target group and go here, then paste it. It is not available. Why? Why it is not available? Okay, here do you want me to refresh? Okay, let me refresh. No. Fine. I already had the targets also. Can I see the targets? Yes, I have a targets. And okay. So can I register this target actually? I need to register. Okay. And include this. It is already included. So let me add it. One second. No. Okay. Let me reload it. And again, I have to give it. Say this is demo hyphen load balancer hyphen 10 hyphen 04 2023 internet facing IP version 4. So default security group. It is 1C only, right? Yes, it is a 1C only. Let me select 1A, 1B, and 1C also I'm selecting. The availability zone and security group. Go to EC2 and click on instances. Click on this. Go to security. Copy the security group and let me paste it. This one, fine. And 80. Can you see now? No. Why?
Sir, here itself we can create it, right? Target group.
We can create the target group, but we are already created, right? It is already available, right? So click on this target group. I can see the target here. And it is asking me to configure. Okay. This is the VPC. Let me check. Is there any VPC, any other VPC? So go to VPC session, click on this. And my VPC, only one VPC I have, which is the default VPC. And I have a subnet. Yes, I have a subnet for all this. Okay. Then what is the issue? Is the issue? No. Is there any subnet section? No. Am I missing anything? Can I check it? No. Okay, let's see. Then come below, I have a tax, APC, fine. If I click on create load balancer, it will give you another. Is there any actions that I need to take? Actions, registered, their targets, edited, 6 setters, register targets. Is already running on US East 1C. This is the subnet associated with. And let me click on this, include it is already done. So better, I can create another target group. We'll see. So instances, target group name is say test target group, HTTP 80, okay, VPC. And this is, you can leave it, health check protocol, then nothing record, click on next directly. And we have a 2 server, and I'm going to include the below. Now click on create target. Now we have a test target group. It got created. Is associated with the targets. Yes. First target shows TCP. Where is that? So we'll see. Aman, what you're saying? Where you seen that TCP and HTTP and all?
Maybe the previous one, the previous target which we have created demo.
Okay, here you
TCP.
are saying, right? Here you are saying. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, correct. I made the mistake. In first target group, I have created the TCP. Correct. Let me delete them. Fine. So now it's working, and then I'm going to create the load balancer. Now view your load balancer. It is provisioning. It is not completed yet. It is the status called provision. Let's wait for some time. And I have selected this time all the LVD zone. That's fine, no issues. So this load balancer, I said, right, there is a listener. This listener will go to this particular target group and it continuously check the health of that particular load balancer. Sorry, the servers. Right, and there we can see the monitoring and all, like CPU utilization, what is the response time, all the different data entries that you can see it. And let's wait for some time. Is this working? Yes, my instances are running now. Let us provisioning. Fine, no issues. So just click on this. Can you see the DNS? Let me copy this DNS and paste it here. Can you see here? Now I am seeing 93, right? Maybe one server IP address. I am using one URL. This is redirecting to 93. Now it is used, right? It is using. Under I am using. Now if I refresh, 69, refresh, 93, 69, 93, 69, 93. What is happening here? The load balancer, it is redirecting the request to the two server. So now 93, now 69. Are you getting my point? How the load balancer works? Yes or no?
So it's like it's doing a balance, sending the request one by one. to the
Exactly.
both.
See, and now your request is on 93 public IP address. If you refresh, now the request is going to another server. It is doing the balance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the purpose of load balancer, I say. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
Yes, Dinesh.
So load balancer, it is used to balance your load. It will distribute the load based on the request that is it on the server. And don't confuse, here we have connected only two servers, but in the real time, there are many servers. It will be connected to the load balancer. You will basically send the request through the load balancer. Load balancer will see the health of the each server, and it will check the CPU utilization. It will check the RAM utilization. It will check the entire network performance. And based on the different data metrics, different maybe pointers, that will decide which server it should take care this particular request. I am giving one simple demo where you have connected two server with a load balancer. Now, what is happening when you try to log in that particular the load balancer URL? When some resource is used, what is happening? It is redirecting to another server. Everyone clear on this?
Yeah, Dinesh. So the procedure is same, like whatever the
Procedure is
steps
same.
we followed
Yes.
the same.
Yes.
Only the site names and the IP address, everything will be different.
Will be different. Yes, correct.
Okay.
Basically, here we are passing some DNS, but in real time, what we are doing? We are passing the URL, right? www.google.com. But in the backend, there is a DNS address for that one. Maybe there is an IP address, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Can you create load balancer without target group? How can I create a load balancer without target group? No, we cannot create the load balancer without target group. So target group is nothing but a group of server, right? So without server, where I'm going to distribute my load to the server. So are you getting, Aman? Basically, in AWS, load balancer always requires a target group to the function, because the target group is a kind of a logical container for our target, like EC2 or IP address that you register with a load balancer. So when you create a application load balancer or network load balancer, you need to specify at least one target group to associate it with it, because the load balancer, it will basically route your incoming traffic to the registered target base on the rule, that you configure in the target group. You can configure whatever the rule that you want, you can configure on the target group. So based on the target group, the load balancer will distribute the load to the particular server. Remember, so without target group, we cannot, achieve this, because target group, what is target? It's a simple, a server. Target group is nothing but a group of server. Here we need to do the kind of a balancing. That's it. So any question on this, guys?
No, Dinesh.
No, Dinesh.
Okay. Now there is one more, maybe a topic I'm going to cover. Now I hope you are clear with the load balancer demo. And before that, let me clear all the resources. Guys, remember, can I tell you one more thing? See, when I click on these instances, now before that, let me show my target group. Can you see, click on this target group. And when I go above, here you can see the health check, right? I'll check. See, there are some kind of rule that you have configured on target group. That's the reason it's saying a 5 consecutive health check success. It means that every 30 seconds there is a health check. It is checking rate. It is pass. Now, when I click on target, see, can you see healthy? That these servers are healthy actually. These 2 servers are healthy. There is a listener in your load balancer, right? The component that will check whether your target are easy to machine, whether it is healthy or not. Now suppose if I terminate one instance, consider I'm going to terminate, and maybe let me stop, not terminate, maybe let me stop the instance. When I stop this instance and it is stopping, it is not stopped it is stopping, I can go to the load balancer and I can go to the target. Now if I refresh, well, wait actually. Why? Because these instances, it is not stopped it. Yes, it is stopped, right? Only one minute. Okay. So now come below. If I see the target group, go to the targets, may refresh. Can you see it is unused? It is unused because this server I already stopped. Now, if I go this particular URL, if I refresh, I can see 69. I can refresh 69, 69. All this traffic will be redirected only to this particular server, right? Are you clear? What is the idea behind your load balancer?
Yeah, Dinesh.
Okay, so fine. Delete the instance. I'm going to terminate, and along with it, I'm going to delete the target group and load balancer also. So this is my load balancer. See, confirm. And click on target group. Actions, delete, as delete. Fine.
Sir, load balancer is free type, sir.
Yes. So to know more, load balancer, free tier, AWS, and here you can see. So it's a free tier offer on application load balancer. Yes, for new AWS account. A free tier for application load balancer offers 750 hours and 15 LCU. This free tier offer only is available for new AWS customer and is available for 12 months following your sign up date. And I see many of you guys getting some notification email saying that there is a money you have to pay. Remember guys, whenever you use any resources, immediately delete them, clear them. That's the practice you have to follow. Okay, any questions so far?
No, Dinesh.
Okay. Okay, so the next topic, now you know what is load balancer. Load balancer is simple, where you are splitting the load, that's it. But who is giving the server? Who is increasing or decreasing the server? Right? For your application, definitely you need a mini server. When your load is increased, obviously you need to provide extra server. When your load is decreased, yeah, I need to remove the server. That's what I need to do, right? So there is a concept called auto scalability or auto scaling in your load balancer. There's a small topic which is related to auto scaling. So what is auto scaling? It's simple, right? It's automatic scaling. Can I say like this? Automatic scaling. Automatically something is going to scale, right? So we are going to scale the application, scale the resources automatically. Automatically, we are going to scale the resources. Right? So, this word, if you want to understand, let me teach you what is scalability, because this is coming from the word called scalability. So, you remember what is scalability means? Scalability, say for an example, if you are running some application, say if you are running any application over the server, basically, we will use the server on which we will host the application. That way, we guys can use it. So on this particular application, you know the customer, they are sending the request, right? Customer doing the request. Customer doing the request. Making a request. So when customer making a request, what will happen? Obviously, the resources or the servers, the resources will be maybe overloaded or underloaded, right? Maybe overutilized or underutilized. Overloaded or underloaded. Maybe consider a particular application, it is hosted on 10 servers. Maybe only one server will get all the requests. Remaining 9 server is not getting anything. Then obviously 9 is underutilized, right? 1 is overutilized. See how to decide this one. How to decide one particular server it got overloaded and one particular server it is not underutilized. How can I decide? Based on metrics only. Based on various maybe data points that you are collecting. Various data points that you are collecting from your monitoring tool, maybe a CloudWatch. Consider in your project, you are using the CloudWatch. CloudWatch is the monitoring tool, right? Using the monitoring tool, you can able to get the historical data. You can get the complete historical data saying that, hey, this is the CPU utilization happened on this particular server. This is the RAM memory utilization happened. What is the network performance? Everything you can able to capture, right? With the help of a monitoring tool, which is called a CloudWatch. Suppose if you have 100 server, all the 100 server, you have configured with the CloudWatch. CloudWatch will tell you in which server we got higher utilization, in which server we got the lower utilization. How many resources has been consumed on particular server. Every historical data, the data we can able to get it with the help of a CloudWatch. Using this one, based on the request, right? Based on the requirement, what we need to do. See, one way to handle this one, manually. Manually, what we guys can do, suppose if your load is increased, you can manually put a multiple server. But when your load is decreased, you can remove the server. That is manual. But is it fine in the real time? No, right? Every time I cannot monitor how many utilization happened or not. I don't know. It is very difficult to, every minute or every second. It's a time consumption job, right? We can do. I'm not saying it is not possible. We can do, but still, in our IT company, most of the company, they have moved from manual effort to automation already. There are everywhere there is an automation. So I don't want, right? So if the CPU utilization is minimal or if the CPU utilization is increased more than 70%, automatically the URL or maybe the request should be redirected to another server. That's what I want, right? Automatically. So that's the reason we need this particular topic, automatic scaling automatically. So scalability is nothing but based on the load, based on traffic, based on utilization, your load should be distributed across the server. How? Remember, in real time, in auto scaling, there are two important scaling you have to remember. One is horizontal scaling, and another one is vertical scaling. These two terms, vertical scaling. With respect to your scalability, we have a horizontal scaling and another one is a vertical scaling. But most of the time, your auto scaling uses horizontal scaling, not vertical scaling. Most of the situation, we basically go for horizontal scaling. So, in horizontal scaling, we have a two option, right? One is either we can scale in, the another option scale out. Scale in or scale out. What is scale in? What is scale out? Scale in means say
Adding resources.
yes. increasing. Scale in means, sorry, scale in means here decreasing the count of server, decreasing the count. See guys, in means kind of inward, out means outward. Outward is nothing but expansion. Outward, expansion. Inward means maybe a suppression, reducing. Right? So decreasing the count of a server. Scale out means increasing the count of servers. So basically your horizontal scaling deals with count, guys. So your horizontal scaling, when you are, say for an example, if you are getting low traffic, load is decreased. When load decreases, it will remove the extra servers. It will remove the servers. It means that there is a decremental operation. But when your load is increased, it will add the server. It will provide you the more server. It means that there is an incremental operation. So whenever there is an incremental operation, you are doing scale out. Decreasing, which is scale in. So this is what happening in the horizontal scaling. Horizontal scaling talks about count, the number of server that you are adding and removing. Are you clear, guys? Yes, sir.
So that means scale out means we have to add a new server, right, sir?
Yes, yes,
Scale in means we can take out a server.
yes, correct.
We are removing.
Yes, correct. Right. Now, what is vertical scaling? Vertical scaling is focused on size, guys, not a count. It is focusing on size. It means that it is focusing on capacity. It is focusing on capacity. Say for an example, I have a server and suppose the server is 2 CPU core and the configuration is 8 GB. 8 GB RAM you are using. Now suppose if you are applying the vertical scaling, suppose if you have a big requirement, what you can convert this particular machine, right? Already you have the machine which has 2 CPU core and 8 GB memory. What you guys can do, you can increase the size. Same machine, you can increase the size to say 8 CPU core and 64 GB memory. Like that, you can able to increase the size of a machine. That's nothing but a vertical scaling. So horizontal scaling talks about the count, number of server you can increase it based on your requirement. But when go with horizontal scaling, vertical scaling, you will increase the size of a machine. Capacity you can able to increase or decrease.
Centralized server, right, sir?
Yes, it is one hub. Yeah, correct. Only one machine, single point of contract. But in horizontal scaling, we have many servers. It's a distributed server. There is a two terminology actually. One is centralized system. One is centralized and another one is a distributed system. So centralized example, your vertical scale. Your distributed example, horizontal scale. Guys, are you clear so far?
Yeah, Dinesh.
Simply remember, scalability is one of the capability actually. It's a capacity or capability, whatever it might be. Scalability is the capability of the AWS machine or AWS server, right? It is in order to meet the unpredictable traffic. Unpredictable. We don't know in real time when we will get the traffic, when we will not get the traffic, right? Whenever if there is an unpredictable traffic, we have to add extra or we have to reduce the number of servers. So one way, which is manual. What maybe we can do? We can use the CloudWatch. We can set some alarm saying that if there is a CPU utilization, greater than 70%, you just send me some notification. Just send me some notification through the SNS. And what this DevOps engineer or AWS engineer will do? AWS engineer will see this particular message and then he will go ahead and he will increase the server or he will redirect the server. This is the one way. It's a manual way. It's a time consumption way. Suppose consider that particular AWS engineer is not seeing the mail. What will happen? Definitely we cannot, right? It's a time consumption job. But the same operation, if I do in automation, is it possible? Yes. AWS provide a feature called auto scaling. You can configure everything in the auto scale. Are you clear with the term? What is auto scaling? Yes, if you have any doubt with respect to the term load balancer and auto scaling, you guys can tell me. I can repeat, no issues. Any question on this? Jaya, Kartika, Nikhil, Samuel, any question on this?
No, Dinesh.
No,
it's
sir.
okay.
No, sir.
All good? Okay, fine. Then let's talk tomorrow, guys. So tomorrow, so what is my plan, right? I'm going to give one demo pertaining to this auto scaling. Once it is completed, Wednesday we'll start the DevOps. And meanwhile, we need to cover 2 or 3 topics in AWS. I can cover it in the weekend, no issues. But Wednesday, I'm going to start the DevOps. And what I need from your side, please refresh that waterfall agile model. You remember Sadish has taken one class on Sunday or Saturday, I think. So waterfall and agile model. Did you remember? Manual work.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So please revise that one. That will be useful in Wednesday session. Fine.
Thanks.
Okay.
Dinesh, what about the Linux? Like you'll be teaching?
Yeah, I can teach you. Don't worry. We'll have separate session 2 hours.
Okay.
Okay. I will cover all the basic stuffs, all the basic commands over there.
Okay.
Okay. We'll see tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Dinesh.